Hi, everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to look directly at the pile. You know the one, the projects that are like 70 to 80% done. The ideas that you started with so much excitement and then just didn't finish. The things that live in a folder somewhere that you scroll past and feel vaguely terrible about. We're looking at all of it today without making it mean something horrible about you. This is a judgment-free audit, and by the end, you're going to have an actual plan for what to do with every single thing in that pile. Hey, if you don't know me, I am Shannon Schroeder, the F-Bomb coach, and I help ADHD women build sustainable systems for their businesses to calm some of the chaos that they live with. So before we start looking at those unfinished projects, I want to address the story that you've been telling yourself about that pile of unfinished things. Because for most of the ADHD people I work with, that pile isn't just a logistical problem. It's wrapped up in a whole lot of shame. Like that pile is proof of something, that you can't be trusted with ideas, that that you're all talk, that you'll never actually finish anything. And I want to be very clear. That story is a lie. What that pile actually shows is that you have a brain that gets very excited, that launches things with a lot of energy, and that struggles specifically with that messy middle. When the novelty wears off, when the work starts to get tedious, that's an ADHD pattern, and it's predictable. And if it's predictable, that means that we can build a system around it. So here's why most people never actually want to do this audit, even when they know they need to. It's not because they don't have the time. It's because sitting down and looking at unfinished stuff feels like you're sitting down and getting lectured by your own brain. Every project in that pile has a feeling attached to it. Sometimes it's guilt, sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's that low-level dread of, I should have done something with this. And what we're doing today is we're learning to look at that pile as a business owner looking at inventory, not like someone who's on trial having to prove something. These projects are just items. They exist. They don't say anything definitive about you, but we're going to figure out what to do with them. So before you get started, and we've talked about the story you're telling yourself, we also need to look at some of these emotions that might come up. The rejection sensitivity, that proof, the lies you tell yourself, it's proof that I'm a failure. The overwhelm, because there's so many things you don't know where to start. Perfectionism, if I can't do it right, I shouldn't touch it. And decision fatigue, I don't know what to do with any of this. Those feelings are going to come up. We're going to create a system that will get you past all of it. Before you start anything, this is the most important piece. One of the ways that an audit goes sideways for an ADHD brain is that you open a project, get pulled into it, spend 3 hours on that one thing, and never actually audit anything. You know, kind of like when you look at your sock drawer and like, oh, I should organize this. And then 3 hours later, your entire room is torn apart and you're reorganizing the closet and the dresser and rearranging the furniture. And then you run out of steam and you're miserable, right? We don't want that to happen. So we're putting a container around this. You're going to set a timer. 60 to 90 minutes should be enough. Have a simple way to capture your decisions. A Google Doc, a spreadsheet, sticky notes, a random piece of paper. I don't care what it is. Whatever makes your brain happy. You need a system for writing things down to tell us where things are going to go. And you have to make a real agreement with yourself. Today, you are not here to finish anything, and the pull will be there. You're going to want to, because some things you're going to look at, you're going to get excited all over again because it's been a while. Not today. Today, you're here to make decisions. That's it. The second you catch yourself actually working on a project during the audit, you have to stop and make a note instead. Okay, that's the agreement that you have to have with yourself. Otherwise, the pile's not going to go anywhere. Okay, here's the framework. 4 buckets. Every single project you look at has to land in one of them. There is no 5th bucket, no invisible bucket called I'll think about it. That bucket is where projects go to haunt you forever. So let's talk about what these buckets are. Finish it. Finish it means that it's genuinely worth completing. There's a real reason to finish it, and you can see a path forward. Park it. Park it is for the things that are really good ideas, but the timing is wrong, or your energy isn't there, or something else needs to happen first, and you can set it down without guilt because it's not dead, it's just resting until you have what you need to be able to do it. Kill it is for the things that are truly done. The moment has passed. The offer didn't land. You grew past it. Whatever. Let it go. And clarify it. This is the honest, I genuinely don't know yet bucket, but it has to come with exactly one question you need to answer before you can sort it properly. If it's so fuzzy that there's like 5 questions, it's probably a kill it, not a clarify it. So clarify it is when you're like, I think I know I need an answer to this one thing, and that will decide it. And once that one question is answered, then it's going to go into finish, park, or kill. That's it. So how do you sort? How do you decide what goes in each bucket? Here are some questions to ask. These questions are designed to cut through the noise your brain creates around that unfinished work. The first one is the most important. Does this still serve a goal I actually have right now? Not a goal you had 8 months ago, not a goal you think you should have, a current real goal. If the answer is no, the project is almost certainly a kill it or park it, and you can stop there. The second question helps you figure out if there is a fixable problem. Maybe it's stalled because you didn't have something you needed and now you do. That's different from stalling because you just don't care anymore. Question 3 is about consequences. Are there any for not finishing? Question 4 is ruthless in the best ways. If you wouldn't start it today, knowing what you know, that tells you something. If you wouldn't start it over again right now, you don't need it, you don't want it, it doesn't belong. And finally, what will it really take to finish it, and is it worth it? Those questions are going to help you decide what bucket things should go into. You don't necessarily have to answer all 5 questions. You only have to answer enough questions to figure out what bucket your project is going into. I want to take a minute to talk a little bit about the kill it bucket, because a lot of people get stuck here. Deciding to kill a project feels like you're giving up. And for a lot of neurodivergent brains, especially ones with a history of being told that they don't finish things, they don't follow through, it can feel like one more piece of evidence against you. So I want you to reframe it completely. Every project you started taught you something. Maybe it taught you what your audience doesn't want. Maybe it taught you that you hate making video content and you need to stick to writing. Maybe it just clarified your direction by showing you what wasn't it. That's not wasted time. That's data. And killing a project that no longer fits what you're doing clears space. It clears mental space, calendar space, hard drive space, space for things that actually matter for you right now. So you should not feel guilty about letting go of the things that are no longer serving you. Now let's take a moment to talk about park it. Parking is genuinely useful, but only if you do it right. Otherwise, it's just another way to let that guilt live indefinitely in another pile. 3 things are listed here, and they are non-negotiable. Number 1, you have to write down why you're parking it, because future you will have no idea what past you was thinking. Why did it land in the parking lot? What were you thinking that said, this is a good idea, but I need A, B, and C? Or this is a good idea, but I don't have the time right now. So that when you go back and revisit it, you know why you put it in the parking lot. You have to give it an actual review date, like 60 to 90 days out. Because if you don't give it a deadline, parked just means in the pile again with extra steps. And we don't want to recreate the pile in a different spot. And you have to physically move it somewhere separate from your active work because your brain needs to stop seeing it every day. Out of sight. Actually set it down in a folder in your hard drive, in a folder in your desk drawer, whatever you need to do. It is a parked project, so it's not in your face every day. Because if it's there, you're just avoiding it. It needs to be out of sight so that when it comes time to deal with it, then you can open it, you're looking at it with fresh eyes and making a decision. Okay, so now you do the audit. Now what? A lot of people will get overwhelmed again because suddenly they look at their finish it list and it's got 6 things on it and they're like, oh my gosh, I got to do all of them right now. You don't. Pick one. Pick whichever one has the most momentum, the clearest path, or the most immediate impact on your business. Just one. And then you put it through whatever process, whatever system you have for actually getting things done. The park it pile needs review dates. You have to give it actual deadlines before you close your computer and turn off everything for the day, not later, today. Otherwise, again, that park it just becomes another pile. Kill it means archive or delete, not move it to a different folder where you'll still see it. Get rid of it. If you're killing it, let it die, gone forever. You don't need it anymore. And clarify it gets a 48-hour deadline. 48 hours, that's it. Because open questions have a way of staying open forever if you don't put a boundary around them. So whatever question you have that needs clarification to determine what to do with the project, you've got 48 hours to get that answer. And then those clarify projects have to be in one of the other 3 buckets. I know it sounds harsh, but we don't want to create more piles. And here's the thing. An audit is not a once and done thing. It's not a one-time fix because the pile is just going to rebuild itself because that's how your brain works. It's creative. It has lots of ideas and you're going to keep starting things and some of them you're not going to finish, and that's okay. That's not a problem you have to solve. That's a reality of your brain and you just need to manage that reality. So the real win here is not clearing the pile once. It's making it so the audit becomes a regular habit so the pile never gets completely out of control. And then you don't have to live with that kind of guilt that you're beating yourself up about. I recommend doing this every quarter, every 90 days. Set aside an hour, go through the 4 buckets, do a reset. And every time you do it, it's going to take less time because you will start making more decisions along the way. Over time, your tolerance for carrying unfinished things is going to shrink because you know you have a system for dealing with them and it becomes easier to make those decisions. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. If you found this useful, please hit like, subscribe, or share it with another ADHD businesswoman that you think will could use this information. I'll see you in the next one.